Retro Rob plays everything.
Hey there gamers, Retro Rob here, and today I'm going to address one of the biggest problems with the Powkiddy X18, and that of course is its horrendous menu system. For those of you who haven't worked with one, it is just a weird interface, things placed everywhere. Sometimes when you download a program, it arbitrarily puts it in a location and won't let you move it. Sometimes it duplicates it. It's just a train wreck of an interface. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of that and replace it with TV Launcher, which is my favorite. The method of getting a new launcher on here, that'll work with any launcher. So if you've got a favorite launcher, you can do that. But I am going to show you some basics in configuring the TV Launcher because it's my favorite. Let's start with first things first. When I got my X18, I had neither a browser, and by browser I mean web browser, nor a connection to my PC that I could get games onto it with. Basically, I would plug it in via USB and it wouldn't show up as a drive. So I'm going to show you how to set it up as a drive if yours isn't already, and I've heard some are, and get Aptoide on there if you don't have a browser built in, which mine didn't. Now, if you've already got a browser, you can skip ahead a little bit. You can just skip this part. But this is for people who are like basically in the worst case scenario, like me. All right, so settings bubble down at the bottom right. There we go. I'm gonna scroll to the right, go into advanced. Then I am going to scroll to the bottom of this to about game machine. Then I'm going to scroll to the bottom of that. I'm going to hit build number several times. It will start a countdown. It's going to say something different from what you're seeing here. It will say like 3 taps till developer mode, and you're just going to tap it and enable that developer mode. Next, you're going to hit B, go into developer options, which will have magically showed up after you did that. And you're going to scroll to USB debugging right there and turn on USB debugging by tapping on it. And then you'll be able to plug a cable into the back of your X18, a USB cable, clearly, and then plug it into your computer and it will show up as a drive. Now we can get ourselves some Aptoide. Now we are on my desktop, and if I hit the file browser, I can of course see my X18 down here in the corner. If I have an external SD card, I'll see that there. If I don't, I will just see internal shared storage. Everything's working good. Next thing I am going to do is I'm going to go get myself some Aptoide. Now, if you wanted to, theoretically, you could just go to a, like APK mirror, and you could just get TV Launcher that way. But I wanted to update automatically in the future, and I also wanted kind of an easy way to get it installed. So we're going to go search on Aptoide, and of course Aptoide.com is right there. And we're going to install now. It's pretty easy. Just hit download. The other thing that this avoids is if there's multiple platform versions for something, you can avoid accidentally downloading the wrong one and having a problem. So we will go show in folder. Show in folder, I say. Fine. We're gonna go to downloads. And Aptoide latest APK. And we're going to drag that right onto internal shared storage. You could use external, not a problem, but I'm using internal here. We're going to pretend that you don't have a external drive right now. And we're just going to scroll down and get rid of that. See ya. There we go, Aptoide latest APK. Now, let's get back onto the Powkiddy. And back to the Powkiddy we are, and I am, what am I, Yoda? Anyway, we're going to hit the tool button, and sorry, I put this on the wrong side of the screen. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to double tap on the file manager. And we're going to go to the internal SD card. And we are going to scroll to the bottom and double tap on Aptoid latest. Hit that install button. I'm not going to do it right now because I already have it installed. But you'll hit that install button, complete the install, and then hit B and B to go back to the main menu. And Aptoid shows up, I believe, automatically under Games, Game Platform. If it doesn't show up there, go to My Apps and check there. It'll be there if it's not in that place. Again, you're dealing with this interface and it's really weird about where it puts stuff. Alright, so anyway, back to it. Now I can double tap on Aptoid. Alright, so now we are in Aptoid, which is not my favorite app store, but it's the one that will get this job done with minimal muss and fuss. Please note that even though it says that these apps are screened for viruses, they are not necessarily well screened for viruses. I've definitely got some junk off of Aptoid in the past, so, you know, beware, you could have problems. Anyway, we're going to click on the search, or tap on the search, and we're going to look for TV Launcher. We're going to do that all as one word, because Sony also makes a TV launcher, and you'll find that one if you put a space in there. Alright, so there's TV Launcher. Tap on it. And in my case, I'm getting open, but what you're going to do is you're going to select download and install. And you're just gonna have to wait it out, install it. There will probably be an ad. You tap at the top right hand corner of the screen, no matter how big the app is, or ad is, sorry, and just get out of it and tell it to install once it's done, and then you will have the TV launcher installed. Whew, that's some work. It doesn't take real long, by the way. It's not a really huge program or anything. Alright, so I'm going to go back to home, hitting the home key, and I'm going to go into settings again by hitting the settings bubble. I'm going to go to advanced. And I am going to scroll down to applications. Where are you, applications? There we go, apps. And then I'm one more time going to hit the gear. And I've got a different little menu. And I'm going to hit Home App. There we go. Okay. Just a quick note, if you're using Launcher 3 or thinking of switching to Launcher 3, which is built in, if you select Launcher 3, it absolutely will change it back to Game Launcher when you reboot. So, just a fair warning there. This will only work with an extra launcher that you've added. So, I'm selecting TV Launcher. There we go. And, oh no, nothing changed. I'm going to hit the home button. Right there. And boom, I am now in TV Launcher. Yay! Alright, some things to note about TV Launcher. It definitely does not look like this when you start. It's basically blank. Not a lot of things in there, so I'm going to show you how to add new entries to your launcher. But number two, I'm going to show you how to change these default menus. And you got a couple choices for that. Alright, I just hit the burger. Is that what they call it now? The burger? Anyway, 3 lines at the top of the screen. And I'm in the menu. And what I want to do is go to Manage Sections. And you want to set up the sections across the top as you would like them. So I've got emulation, application, system, and games. So say I wanted to delete one of these or move it, I could tap on it and I could change its position. So 3 means it's the third one from the left. So yeah. It's gonna be reversed if I like did it like this. But anyway, it'll be the third application position, third tab at the top, and you can change it by just tapping, and there we go. I'm gonna put it back to 3, but that would have changed the position of it. You can also delete it at the bottom. You can rename it at the top. I'm gonna give you a little warning about adding new sections or renaming them. I'm gonna just real quick create a new section, and I don't like the fact that it's unnamed, so I'm gonna try and change the name to test, and I'm gonna hit the check mark at the bottom. What's gonna happen is it just crashed. So how do you fix that? Well, what you do is you hit that home again, get back in, go back, go to manage sections, and now my unnamed section's there. I'm gonna click on it, hit the name, go back in, and I'm gonna name it test again. But instead of hitting the check mark at the bottom to enter it, I'm gonna scroll a little bit and hit save. That would have worked the first time too. So just a quick note that will crash if you hit enter. What? I don't know how that bug got out of testing, but it's there. All right, so I don't want test here. Actually, I should show you real quick. Let's see, what's the position of test? Test is in position 5, so it should be at the far right hand side. And as you can see, I now have emulation and test, and there is test sitting at the end. I'm gonna delete it. And let's see, manage sections, and hit test, and delete. Yes, yes. And now test is gone. So you can rename sections, you can do, all the basics. One other thing to note real quick, there is a theme section. You can change it from dark to light. You can change from having headers like emulation and stuff to having icons. And real quick, I'll just show you how that looks. And as you can see, I've got icons on the top. You can change the icons for a certain section by going back to manage sections. Let's say it's games, and I want to change the icon. See, I just tap it, and I can change the icon. Not the most efficient system, but it's there if you want it. I absolutely hate the look of the icon theme, so I am just going to go back into themes here, and I'm going to turn the section icons off. If you would like to fit more applications on each page, you can switch the grid column section to a higher number. I like 4, but you can try it higher and lower and see how it looks to you. All right, going back, let's say I've got a game that doesn't have itself represented here yet. What I can do is I can go to the plus here. Note, none of your games when you start are on here. None of your programs are on here. You have to add them all. Anyway, I can hit the plus and choose application. And let's see, what don't I have up there? I think I've got Bomb Squad up there. All right, we'll do Bomb Squad. There we go. Bomb Squad is now added, and I'm gonna just go back to B, and at the bottom you can see Bomb Squad. Now, in some cases, you're gonna get a nice looking representation like Bomb Squad up there. But in other cases, you don't, like Inferno here or Downwell. So how do you get a better icon when it doesn't have it? Because in many cases it doesn't. In fact, many of the programs that I have don't have decent ones. Well, you basically go to your browser for that. And if you don't have a browser yet, you can, of course, always just go, let's go back. Here we go. You can always go to, come on now, system. There we go. But it may not be here for you by now. But anyway, you can always go to Aptoid and of course download the browser of your choice. Yet again, I use Opera because it doesn't have any tie-ins to anything else. You can use Google Chrome, but sometimes you have problems with it. I've had some problems with it in the past, so I don't use it anymore, even though it's my favorite browser. All right, so remember, you can just go to Aptoid and grab yourself a browser. That's what's important to remember. So, got your browser. Going back, open up Opera here. And then, I said I was looking for Downwell. So, I'm going to go Downwell. And what I tend to do is I do like Android TV. And then I do a search. And then I'm going to switch over to images. And if it happens to already have a TV icon, you can use it from there. Otherwise, you might run into, something like this that looks like this guy right here, that looks like it might work pretty well as a downwell icon. So I'm going to download this one. Save image. And I'm just downloading it in my downloads. Good spot, right? And going back. And I'm going to go back to the main menu. Back, I say. There we go. On to my games. And here's Downwell. I'm going to tap and hold. Hit create. And I'm going to select. Your browser might look a little bit different. Your file browser might look a little bit different from this, but essentially it's the same thing. All right, so I'm going to look for downloads. There we go. And where are ya? Not Raging Thunder, not Konami. There it is, Downwell. And hit OK. There. And I'm just gonna center it. Good. And if you want to upload it so that other people can get your Downwell icon, go ahead and give it a name and an author. I've found that it doesn't upload most of the time, so I don't bother with it anymore. I'm gonna hit apply. And hit B. And there we go. Got a nice looking Downwell icon. And once you're done with that, you can just go on to the next icon and just keep adding them till you've made it look good. And then once you're happy with what you got, you're all set. For the record, you can also pull out the little plus. Like if you don't like having this plus around, you can actually lock the menu so you can't add new icons. So like if you're letting somebody else play it and you don't want them to mess with it, you can actually lock that down too in the menu. But that's it. You now have TV launcher all set up on your Powkiddy X18, and it's a little bit easier to deal with when you have a nice menu like this. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in a couple days. Bye.